So, last few weeks we have been seeing Savitri traveling through different regions of the inner countries. She went down into the subconscious. She saw the physical life, she saw the vital life, she saw the mental life, she saw mind. She also met bright gods who told her how to proceed on her journey in the search of the soul. And these gods told her, "We are the messengers, the occult gods, who help men's drab and heavy, ignorant lives to wake to beauty and wonder of things, touching them with glory and divinity. In evil, we light the deathless flame of good and hold the torch of knowledge on ignorant roads. We are the will, and all men's will towards light." Now, therefore, what Savitri is seeing is a vision of the occult world presented to her by these gods, the occult gods. Now, if you see Huta's painting corresponding to this part, she has very, very, very beautiful painting, absolutely beautiful, no doubt about that. But she has drawn large number of faces there, more than a dozen faces in the painting, and Savitri is going onward and onward. But most of them, why most? All of them are the faces, female faces. Female faces, you see. Whereas what our text says is occult gods. Gods, you see. Now, I don't know. I can't understand. I don't know. I can't say anything on that. As far as the text is concerned, we have got the occult gods. Very clearly said. In fact, in other place also he says, him, God, the guide, specifically mentions male figure, guiding Savitri, says like that. But all her depictions corresponding to this part are of female faces, there you see. Very bright, very beautiful, very flaming, all that. So I can't reconcile these two, between this and that. The only way by which we could justify those paintings, female paintings, is she is drawing the powers of her soul. The powers of her soul, you see. She is not depicting the text as such, but she is presenting the powers of the soul. Large number of powers are there, and they are telling Savitri how to go, how to go, how to go, like that, you see. So that is the only way perhaps we can reconcile between the female pictures there and what we have here in the text. The gods very clearly said, in fact earlier also the description is very clear about that. See, here he says, one answered. One answered. Of course, he has kept it without mentioning whether it is male or female, you see. One answered, see. But here the reference is very clear, occult gods, you see. Now, she was told how to proceed. Thou shalt see the fire burning on the bare stone and the deep cavern of thy secret soul. So she is going to see the fire on the altar burning on the fire, and the cavern, the guha, where the soul is lost. Hridaya guha, as the Vedic phrase is Hridaya guha. It is there she is going to see here. And then there, after that, as Savitri proceeds, a few bright forms emerged from unknown depths. Savitri is now on the way, where the road is winding up to the place of our soul, we see. Now, here, of course, we have got a few. But the next canto, which is going to describe these unknown depths being seen by those forms, are the three Madonnas will meet in the triple soul forces. He has taken, so to say, the representative powers of these occult gods and put them in the form of three Madonnas, who we are going to meet in the fourth canto, the triple soul forces. Now, the fact that he is talking about soul forces, force, Shakti, she is feminine, and therefore it is the feminine aspect which is being presented in the entire description here, you see. Now, this is important in the sense that all these gods and goddesses, these occult powers which are there, they are within our inner world. And it is in the inner world that they shape our being, what we are. We are this, we are that, etc., etc. It is these powers which govern our character, our nature, our personality, our individuality, our swabhava, what we call, is governed by these powers, you see. Now, in the synthesis of yoga, Sri Aurobindo has a long chapter on the fourfold forces operating within us. Fourfold forces operating within us. And these fourfold forces are the soul forces, forces of the soul. The soul is projecting out those forces, and they then do things in the inner world which get projected in the surface world of ours. So the soul is preparing those personalities, they prepare whatever is required, they give the shape, the character, the nature to us as individuals, and then it is that which gets projected in the outward manifestation, in the surface manifestation. Now these four forces, the Vedic description of course says the forecast, basically Chaturvarna, forecast, Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. This is the traditional description. Purusha Sukta speaks of the four limbs of the Supreme Being. This one, this one, this one, this one. These are the four perfections of man. And it is these four perfections of man who have given rise to what we are as mental beings. Mental being. Sri Aurobindo, of course, makes it very explicit by calling them as four powers of the Divine Mother: Maheshwari, Mahakali, Mahalakshmi, Mahasaraswati. Now, these are the outward manifestations of the four forces which are working within us, inside the soul. And it is these four forces which have developed the mental being, the mental species, what we are, is governed by these four forces. Which means that, in fact, in that little book, The Mother, Sri Aurobindo, after describing the four powers of the Divine Mother, Maheshwari, Mahakali, Mahalakshmi, Mahasaraswati, he says that there are higher powers of the spirit waiting for their descent in the manifestation, waiting for their descent. And the one, the mother of love, it is she who will really bring about the transformation. She has not manifested yet. In other words, our inner being has not prepared itself sufficiently yet to bring her power down here. To bring her power down here. In order to bring that power down here, our inner being has to grow further, which means that our soul has to make progress. Our psychic being has to make more progress, bring more and more of the divine light in it so that it grows and creates these powers within us so that those higher powers can come and stay and then they can express themselves in us. So, unless these four powers are first working here harmoniously, the higher powers of the Divine Mother cannot come. That is the important thing. Maheshwari, Mahakali, Mahalakshmi, not as individuals and separately working by themselves, together harmoniously in the cosmic play. When they work, then only the higher superior powers can come and create a truer, higher inner being. Once that inner being starts getting formed within us, we can say that we are on the way towards the Superman race. The condition for the Superman race is that inner being has to first prepare itself for those powers to come and express themselves here. You see. So it is the soul who has to really aspire, who has to bring down those powers there in the inner world, what is called the subliminal. And once they are established in the subliminal, then the inner being is formed, and that inner being then can start expressing in the outward world. And then there you are. We are Superman, you see. Until then, we have to keep on doing the work, the inner work, you see. So, when he says a few bright forms, very clear he says, no? Few bright forms are those which have to come out, and yet higher powers have to come out once these are clear. Of these few bright forms, which are now most active in the inner world of ours, are the three Madonnas as given here in this canto, the triple soul forces. So the triple soul forces and these fourfold soul forces of the synthesis of yoga, they have to be read together, you see, in a certain sense. Of those, and many more of those, he is describing here just three. Just three, you see. Because here says a few. He is not talking of all of them, just a few, three, you see.